Be kind, everyone you meet is fighting a much tougher battle. Every heart sings an imperfect song until another heart returns. Those who wish to sing always find a song. With a lover's touch, everyone becomes a poet. We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when people are afraid of the light. Only the dead have seen the end of the war. The price good men pay for their indifference to public affairs is to be ruled by evil men. Do not train a child to learn by force or cruelty, but direct them to it with the laughter of their minds, that you may discover the peculiar moment of the genius of each with better accuracy. The harshest punishment for refusing to judge is to be judged by someone inferior to you. According to Greek mythology, humans were originally created with 4 arms, 4 legs, and a head with 2 faces. Fearing their power, Zeus divided them into 2 separate parts, condemning them to spend their lives in search of their other halves. I am the wisest man alive, for I know one thing, and that is that I know nothing. Never discourage anyone who is constantly making progress, no matter how slow. Love is a serious mental illness. One of the penalties for refusing to participate in politics is to end up being judged inferior to you. Good people do not need laws to tell them to act responsibly, while bad people will find a way to get around the laws. The measure of a man is what he does with strength. Ignorance is the root of all evil. If women are expected to do the same work as men, we must teach them the same things. And when one meets the other half, the actual half of himself, be it a lover of youth or a lover of another kind, the spouses are lost in the astonishment of love, friendship, and intimacy, and one will not be out of sight of others, as I might say, even for a moment. Those who tell the stories rule the community. Human behavior stems from 3 main sources: desire, emotion, and knowledge. Education is teaching our children to desire the right things. Courage is knowing what you are not afraid of. There are 3 classes of men: lovers of wisdom, lovers of honor, and lovers of gain. In politics we assume that everyone who knows how to get votes knows how to run a city or a country. When we get sick, we ask neither the most handsome doctor, nor the most eloquent doctor. Do not honor men more than right. There are 2 things a person should never be angry with: what he can help him, and what he cannot help him. When people talk bad about you, live so that no one will believe them. Excellence is not a gift, but a skill that requires practice. We do not act right because we are excellent. In fact, we achieve excellence by acting right. Wise men speak because they have something to say, fools because they should have said something. There is in each of us, even those of the most mild-mannered appearance, a kind of desire that is terrifying, savage, and lawless. The beginning is the most important part of the business. Opinion is the mediator between knowledge and ignorance. For a person to conquer himself is the first and noblest victory among all victories. An excessive increase in anything leads to a reaction in the opposite direction. Good deeds give strength to ourselves and inspire others with good deeds. The measure of a man is what he does with strength. False words are not only evil in themselves, but they infect the soul with evil. Human behavior stems from three main sources: desire, emotion, and knowledge. Never discourage anyone who is constantly making progress, no matter how slow. Good people don't need laws telling them to act responsibly, while bad people will find a way to get around the laws. If women are expected to do the same work as men, we must teach them the same things. Be kind, everyone you meet is fighting a much tougher battle. I am the wisest man alive, for I know one thing, and that is that I know nothing. Love is a serious mental illness. Democracy. It is a charming form of government, full of diversity and chaos, and distributing a kind of equality between equals and unequals alike. The right decision is based on knowledge, not numbers. How can you prove whether we are asleep at this moment, and all our thoughts are a dream, or whether we are awake and talking to each other in the waking state? The soul of him who has education is whole and perfect and escapes the worst disease, but, if a man's education be neglected, he walks lamely through life and returns good for nothing to the world below. Every citizen has to play his role in society according to his individual talents. No one is hated more than he who speaks the truth. There's a victory and defeat, the first and best of victories, the lowest and worst of defeats which each man gains or sustains at the hands not of another, but of himself. Laws are partly formed for the sake of good men, in order to instruct them how they may live on friendly terms with one another, and partly for the sake of those who refuse to be instructed, whose spirit cannot be subdued, or softened, or hindered from plunging into evil.